You guys asked for it, and here it is. My updated yes, no, maybe list. And it is going to be interesting redoing it, that's for sure. I'm trying to get my hand comfortable since the lighting is terrible where my hook is. So I'm going to be holding it for this. I'm going to jump right in because last one it was almost impossible to do in any sort of reasonable manner of time. A lot has happened in 6 years, including an essay. So right now it's kind of a updated list, and I'm not fully over that. So in time, I expect myself to raise some of these limits. I expect to recover quite a bit from where I'm at right now emotionally, and I don't think this will be my current feeling forever. This is just where I'm at right now. So let's move on and let's go. Right now, we'll start in order just like we did last time. I had one or two things that I, for some reason, didn't have written down, so I was going quickly, and they will be out of order, but everything else is exactly the same. But I think it's only two things. So here we go. It's never easy to start because it's alphabetically for the most part, and the first one's anal sex, and that is a 0 right now. If it's me getting getting the penetration, it's a 5 if it's like using some sort of device on somebody else, like a strap-on or anything else to penetrate a partner, male or female, with. A beating with hands. Right now that's a 3. It's if it was any form of actual true violent beating, it would be a 0. If they're talking just about playing, I know choking's actually not on this list, shockingly, or at least I did not write it down in order. But if it's stuff like that where they're talking about holding you down, choking, consent, with the consent and a safe word and stuff along those lines, then it would be fine. I would just need someone to go slow with me. I still like those things. I just would need to have 100% trust for somebody, and I would have to be able to be really transparent about what I went through. So I still very much so enjoy it. So soft choking from the front with a hand would still be a 5, but if it was from behind right now, I couldn't handle that yet because of what happened to me. Couldn't handle it with a forearm because of what happened to me, things like that. I would have to be very transparent. So it's not that I don't like that, it's that I'd have to be open. Beating with padded clubs, it's a 5. As long as they were very padded, I could handle, not very padded, but as long as they had padding on them, I could handle it, as long as it was on like the butt, on the cheek or the thigh, somewhere that you're meant to be hit. BDSM is not, it's not being beaten, it's not being abused. This is consensual, and it's feeling for pleasure. Just like rough sex is something that it can cause pain per se, or a piercing or a tattoo can cause pain, but people enjoy that kind of pain. Working out is a kind of pain. Spicy food is a pain response on your tongue. It's not a spice response in a sense. It's not like a taste. It's a heat response. It's like a masochistic tongue. There are a lot of good pains out there, and that's okay. It's okay to recognize enjoying the pain of running or the pain of anything. Some people enjoy the pain of overeating, the pain of undereating. There's a lot of ways we enjoy pain that people don't understand, and that's okay. Not that it's always healthy, but it's okay. And if this is done consensually, it is healthy. So next, being bit or biting. Being bit is a 5 if they do it medium to soft, and 4 to 3 if it's rougher. Obviously nothing insane at this moment. Don't want to mess up my tattoos. And biting is a 5, biting someone else. Being eaten out, that's one that's out of order. 0, I don't like it at all on me. 5, doing it to somebody. Blindfolds, 5 on them, 1 on me. Body paint, 4, either way. Bondage, heavy suspension, 4 either way. The same with intricate Japanese style bondage. I would need a lot of direction on how to do that to somebody, but I'm very open-minded and I love learning. Light bondage is a 5 all around. Bruises, since my domestic violence and SA situation, I would say like a smack, like a handprint on the butt or a hickey. Those things are okay, but like extreme bruises I would not be okay with at all right now, because it would be very triggering. Again, I am open to feeling different in the future, but right now they wouldn't bring a happy memory of a situation. They would bring a lot of chaos in my mind and remind me of other bruises that were in those same spots, very non-consensually. So yeah, only maybe like a neck hickey or a butt like smack print, or flog print, something that was obviously consensual would be nice, like a flogger mark would be ideal. Let's see where we were. Butt plugs, a 1. Just, I'm not a huge fan at the moment of that type of thing, but I would be mildly open-minded. Cages, a 5 with a trusted partner. One of those things, if it was a game, like you were playing a kitten or a puppy, or they were playing that, or you were, doing something along those very consensual, cutesy lines, or whatever the role may be, that's fine with me. Caning, a 2 for it being done to me, a 5 to them. It's one of those things that a lot of people don't know how to do it correctly without injuring somebody, and again, just not there yet. But I have, I feel like if I did it, I would lower me to a 4. It would probably be a more of an sadistic way at the moment, and that's not how I would like to portray myself to a partner. So I'll lower my score personally. Chains are 4 all around. Chastity belts are a 3 all around. Same with the clothespins, they're a 3 all around. Someone having to use a cock ring, not having to but wanting to, that's a 5. I don't mind at all. There's nothing wrong with that. Using a strap on, if I'm using it on somebody, that's a 5. It's a 0 if they're using it on me. There's nobody on any planet except for Ruby Rose who could use it on me. If she wants to, she's all fine. Cock worship, if they're deserving of it, or if it's, maybe if it was one of the like band people I used to hook up with back in the day when I was not swollen from medication that I'm on right now. It's driving me nuts. But yeah, maybe one of them would be okay. So it would have to be someone worth it, and then it would be a 5. Otherwise, I'd really have to earn it, basically, even if I cared about them. You can still love someone without going as far as worship. Corsets are a 5. Cross-dressing's a 5 both ways. I think it's fun to explore many different things and genres and expressions. I love that. Handcuffs, any kind, they're a 5. Dildos really depends on the situation and what it is. I don't have a firm opinion. As long as they can't be thick. If they're on me, they cannot be thick at all. Or I'm a sissy, like super, super, super thin. Yeah. A double penetration, a 3. Like I said, anal is really scary for me right now, so it couldn't really be that. And I really am not that open-minded at this moment in life, but in very specific situations, like the fantasy of it doesn't sound terrible, but it's not something I would seek out or be that comfortable with right now. It doesn't sound terrible, though, especially if it's like, I don't know, I'm not sure who to even think of. I had somebody in mind, but I don't even want to admit that his name left me. I thought of Zayn Malik, and then Antonio Brown. Those two could do it. Then it's a 5. exhibitionism, a 3, exotic dancing, a 4, to watch, which I hate to admit because I don't want to exploit anybody. But I know some of them it is exploiting, some of them don't want to be there, some of them have to be there, and some of them don't, and it's willing, and it depends. I think women are beautiful, so I do like watching them at times, but I also know that it's wrong for many situations and it's hard. So it just depends. If I'm doing it for somebody, I like giving like a lap dance quite a bit. I love doing that for somebody. However, I'd have to really be in a state where I felt sexy and pretty to do it. Face slapping, at this point it'd be exposure therapy for me. So it would have to literally be like, it would have to be exposure therapy at first. It would have to be non-sexual after, and it'd have to be like literally exposure therapy, just because of the situation I came out of. It used to be one of my favorite things, like a light slap. It wasn't even that light of a slap, but like a slap across the face. But when that's not abusive when it's consensual, but when like someone's had to build your face back up and you need more reconstructive surgery so you can breathe properly and not have migraines, I think it's intimidating to risk damaging them more even with a slap. So it would be for therapy purposes at first. Flogging is a 5. Fisting, as always, is a 0. Absolutely not. I'm very narrow down there, so even the idea of like, yeah, that's scary. Fingering is yes, as long as it's like 1 or 2 fingers. It can't, not more than that. Then it's a 5. Following orders is a 5 to somebody I respect, and that like it's a consensual and joyous thing, obviously. Let's see. Food and feet. I put food and feet are not for me, and I didn't even rate them or anything. That's just what I put down. Yeah, I'm not a big like foot person. I don't like when people suck on my toes or like really whatever about it. I guess I would do it if my partner really wanted me to do something, but I'm not a huge fan of either of those things. Because of my injuries, gags like really hurt my mouth, like gag balls and stuff, so right now not that. Genital sex is always a 5. I really enjoy it. That's how I personally get off, so I enjoy being penetrated quite a bit. I like that, and I can also get off while using a strap-on on someone else too, but those are the 2 ways that I get off personally. The easiest, the most, the quickest. I'm not someone who gets off by foreplay ever. So unless I could possibly get off if I was extremely turned on and I was watching like my partner or feeling my partner get off in my mouth or something like that. But that would be the only exception, and that's not something stimulating me vaginally. I'm curious which video I was more like blunt in, because there's different aspects of being blunt that back then I was very blunt as well, but there's different ways. I think I'm being more reserved now, but I also have to speak on a broader topic. So it's very interesting to see how things have changed. Let's see. Hair pulling, 5. Giving a hand job, a 4. Giving head, 5. Wearing high heels or like stepping on someone, kicking someone, them wearing them around me, that's a 5. I suck at walking in them unless they're like really chunky heels, or I can walk in the stripper heels. It's just, it hurts my feet after a while because I have little feet. But I will do it, and I think it's sexy. Hot wax and ice cubes are both 5s. I love ice and ice play. It's very enjoyable for me. I've always loved it though. Alright, we're moving along here. Okay, kneeling is a 4 for both leather clothing. Wearing leather clothing is a 4. Leather restraints is a 5. Wearing lingerie is a 5+++. lately, that's like my most confident, is dressing up and wearing lingerie. And I don't mind like my tits and ass being out during sex, but like, especially my tits, but like I like having like an outfit to like set up and like kind of dress up like the look, the aesthetic. I like feeling sexy, even like pretty like thigh high leggings, and I don't know, I like that sexy appeal during sex rather than just being naked. I think it's something about it is sexier. Even a guy like having, I don't know, like a sexy shirt on can be nice. I like men being naked too, or women, but it's something about it. I like women in lingerie a lot too. It is what it is. Either way is beautiful. So it just depends. Manacles and irons, 3 or 4, depends on the person. Obviously, I'd have to really trust you. Manicures, I mean, I don't have nails for obvious reasons, but they're okay. 3, I guess. I wouldn't care. Giving a massage is a 5. Getting one is a 2. So I have trust issues. Modeling for photos, I would do it for someone I trusted, and that way it would be a 5. Check out my OnlyFans. For that, I would do it for a 5 because, you know, it's my OnlyFans. It's Rainy Raylan, by the way. Nipple play is a 4 or 5, depending on the person, and as long as they're not trying to rip my nipple off, but they can be pretty rough. Orgasm denial, it's either a 5 or a 0, and there's no in between. It's either done so right that it still feels amazing and it's great, or it's just awful and it's purely based on like talent, and that's it. Oral rimming, 0 if it's done to me. Stay the hell away from that. But I'll do it to like certain guys who are really into it and they're very clean, and a few girls, I guess, but that's it. Outdoor sex, a 5. Over the knee spankings are a 5. Pain, both moderate and mild, is fine in most all situations, as long as, like I said, it's not in my nose or the things I don't like. It's fine in the things I like. Major pain or severe pain right now is like a 2, but it could be more in the future, and it used to be more. Phone texting is pictures. I'll send pictures, but it's like a 3 or 4. It's a 4 for pictures. Texting's a 3 or 4, and calling is a 0 right now because I don't have time for that. I'd prefer to be doing the real thing if we're going to be calling on a phone. Pinching, 0. Who wants to pinch somebody? That's mean. I'd pinch somebody, but like if they want me to pinch them, but don't pinch me. That's mean. Play kidnapping. That would be again like PTSD exposure therapy right now. Punishment scenes. That's a 5. I'll do that. Pussy and cock whipping. Either way is a 4, I guess, as long as it's not lashing. It's just like smacking it with a flogger at a medium to light rate. Riding crops, soft to mild, is a 4. Rubber or latex clothing and saran wrap. I haven't done anything with that in so long, so I'd have to give it a 2 or 3, but I would try it. Scenes, prison or religious, 5. I'll do that. And I actually have fun with those type of things. I think they can be really explorative, and you can have like a very diverse situation. I also want to add with the scenes, I like doing things where you practice like being a little or a pet or something like that. I think it's really helpful to get to know somebody on a deeper level, to put them in a situation that they're uncomfortable in or vulnerable, or have to play something that isn't conventional, like a toddler or a animal, something much more helpless, and see how someone takes care of you, see how you would take care of somebody, and see how they react in that situation being helpless. It says a lot about both partners, so I think it's important to even non-sexually play those roles at some point. Let's see. Scenes. Okay. Scratching. As long as it's not like digging nails in, bleeding, ruining my artwork. It's a 5 both ways, giving, receiving, especially giving, of course, but both are fine. Serving as a butler or a maid, 5 if I'm doing it. I love serving. Shaving, not sexually in any way. Like, it's fine to do. I like it. Like, they can shave, I can shave, but like, it's not a sex thing. Shoe and boot worship. As long as it's like known ahead of time that someone's gonna be doing it, and the shoe stays like on, the boot especially stays on, like, it could be a 4. It could be a cool scene to do. I'm willing to play. Skinny dipping, 3. Slutty clothing, a 5. I like exploring my sexuality through clothes and lingerie, I've explained. Spreader bars, 3 or 4 depending. If I'm not a big fan of using arm and leg bars at the same time, it's very uncomfortable, but I will do it. That's a 3 though. 4 if it's one or the other, preferably I guess arms, but either one is fine. Yeah, they can be fun. It just depends. Standing in the corner can be 4. A 4, it can be a fun, like, little punishment. Stocks, those are intense. They're 3. Swallowing, like for a blowjob, it's 5. There's no other way. Unless you're going to, like, spit it in someone else's mouth, that can be fun too. I like when somebody takes, like, a drink of something and spits it in your mouth and you swallow it too. If there's someone I think is clean and trust. Swapping partners or swinging, 0. I have no interest in that at this point in my life, unless it was somebody I was hooking up with at a very famous singer that I liked, like, and groupied for back when I was young, like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. If it wasn't one of them, there's no shot. And even then, who am I swinging with? It would just be like me sleeping with 1 or 2 of them. So no, I'm not interested. And that's not something I would do right now. That's like a theoretical, like, you know what I mean? Like that 1 in a million person. Like, I think the most loyal person in the world has like that one person that they were like, if that guy or girl dropped from whatever, Beyonce was in the room, you would do it type thing. So that's, but no, I'm not interested in that at all. Tattooing, 5, of course. Teasing, a 5. A tens unit, a 4. And that's that electrical unit. And we're on the last page. That's pretty good. I think I'm doing this a lot more smoothly this time, but I might be wrong. Thumb cuffs, a 1, but I mean, what really is the point of a thumb cuff? Some people might really be into it. I would try it, that's why I gave it a 1. Tickling, I mean, no, a 0. Thank goodness, I used to be the most ticklish person in the world. Now it's really rare that someone can tickle me, but that's only very recently, and I don't trust that enough to keep, like, a lot of faith in that. So 0. Triple penetration, mentally not even there to think about it. So no, it's not. I wouldn't say it's 0 because it's not even fair, because I'm mentally not even in a spot where I could fathom it right now. Let's see, uniforms. I like cop uniforms the most. Vibrators, I guess a 3. I'm unsure about them. I don't, I'll use them on someone, and I'd be open to someone touching me with one. So I'm open. I'm in the middle. Videos of myself, yeah, like on my OnlyFans, but not, again, that's not something I I guess. Porn, 0. I don't support it or watch it, because I know a lot of people have contracts they can't talk about. A lot of people are forced into it. A lot of people are younger than they seem. A lot of people are younger than they say they are. A lot of 18-year-olds or 16, it's unfair. And that's come out about even the biggest of biggest sites. And if it's come out, then imagine what's not talked about, because think about it. most things aren't talked about. And I had a bad past with that. I was really hurt as a very young person, and I don't love that will forever be something people can hurt me with, essentially. So, anyways, voyeurism is a 1. Wearing symbolic jewelry is a 5. Whips, never true bull whips was my note. I'm just gonna stick with that. Wooden paddles is a 2 or 3. If they are used correctly and just for like a stimulant where it's like a stingy, but you're not hitting full swing or anything, it's fine. But so often people overdo it and it's really dangerous, and I'm not a fan of that. Wrestling around and like goofing wrestle play, that's always a 5 if done right. I really enjoy that. It's really fun. And then it just says, do you have allergies, medical conditions, aftercare, other fun ideas or things to think about with your partner as well, which I talk about that enough on my channel as it is. So I thought that would be a good kind of place to wrap it up. That's all of the questions. I obviously think that once I've had a little more time since my my incident, it's not an incident, since being hurt, that I will be much more open-minded and probably loosen up on some of those rules a little bit. But right now, it's kind of needs some boundaries, and that's okay. It's okay to need some time, even if it's just in my mind, since I'm not doing anything right now, and that's okay too. I love you guys. I had a video I was going to do first, and it got none of the votes at all. It was, I think I posted 4 ideas, and one had like 5 or 6%, one had like 10, one had 15 or something like that. No, it wasn't. It was 0, 5, 10, and like just an overwhelming majority. It was like a chunk where it was this video. So I was just very humbled. So it was literally almost the exact opposite, like in order of what I wanted to do. Like the 0 was what I wanted to do, and then the like next one up, the one with like 5 was like what I really would have done second, and then the 10 was third, and then the one that had like the humongous chunk of everything was like the one that I was gonna do last, or might not do at all, which is this one. But here we sit, and here I expose myself yet again for the internet. But I like being open and transparent, and I think one of my favorite things is pleasing somebody and making somebody happy. And whether I'm scared or not, I'm always willing to grow and be open with somebody and let my partner know that I care, and that and let them know where I'm at mentally, and know where they're at mentally and how they're feeling, if I'm upsetting them at all, or if they're getting enough enjoyment. I love that communication. I love that physical response. I love being open, and I think that it's just a beautiful way to express your care for each other, and I never will lose it. I never will lose that beautiful connection, no matter what I've been through. So I did want to make this video. I really love you guys, and I cherish you guys, and I thank you for being here throughout the years. I mean, I'm not a huge channel by any means. I'm a very small channel, but 10,000 of you is amazing. And I mean, that first video got over 900,000 views now. I remember thinking I would never see the day when it hit that 50,000 mark, and I was stunned and floored, and just looking at it now, I was just speechless. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I truly have nothing but appreciation for everything you all do, and for giving me a voice, because that is something that we all deserve. We deserve a voice and a chance to be heard, and I will forever appreciate you for that. Thank you, and I will be back soon.